Hello everyone, welcome to the next section. In this section, we will be setting up the shopping cart application. Let's get started. So we will start by moving to a folder where we want to create our project. And in that folder, we need to open the command prompt. And in here, what we need to do is we will type the command that we're very familiar with now, which is npx create react app @latest, your application name, which could be, let's call it Snapcard. And we'll use the template TypeScript for that. Let's wait for the application to be created. And while the application is getting created, in case you want to get a better understanding of Create React app, what are the various files that are generated as a part of it, and also understand the TS config in detail that gets generated in the process of this application, please visit the two videos that I would have linked in the information section. So one would walk you through all the files that come out of Create React app in detail. What do they mean? How do they function? And there's another video in Introduction to TypeScript and React where we cover the TS config in detail. Now, let's go ahead and get started. You can open the project in VS Code. This is a fresh out of Create React App project and it has multiple files which we might not need. But before we begin the cleanup, let's understand and familiarize ourselves with some extensions that I think every developer should have on their VS Code to make the overall workflow a lot easier. So first one which we need to have is Code Spellchecker. During the course of your development, there are multiple words that you could misspell. As example, you can see first value. It was spelled with double L, which is incorrect. So it will point those errors so that your code is overall much more readable and has fewer spelling mistakes. The second one is ES7 plus React Redux native snippets. So this plugin, it adds multiple React snippets for you to use directly whenever you're working with React components and others. So these are some of the snippets that come out of the box when you install this plugin. So it adds all these commands with respect to React components. This is the relevant section. So here you can see React class component, which is RCC, and then React class components that extends component, which is RCE. And similarly, you have multiple variations of React components available. So this is one of the major ones that we will be using throughout our project, which is RAFCE, which is React Arrow Function component with an default export configured. Here $1 signifies the name of your file. So for example, you create a new component file, hello world. When you call RAFCE there and press enter after installing the plugin, it will have this structure created with $1 replaced with hello world. Very useful utility to quickly boilerplate your starting components. The next one that we need to install is Prettier code formatter. So this will ensure that your code is always properly formatted. And the next one is ESLint. So ESLint should also be enabled so that it throws all the ESLint warnings beforehand, and you can see all those warnings before they are identified by the compiler, and overall much better support for linting errors in your project. Now with these extensions covered, let's dive back onto files and clean them up a little. All right. So here we are in our project once again. Let's go ahead and clean up the project. So we will remove anything that we will not be using in our project. First thing would be all the CSS files. The font looks a little small. Let me zoom in a little. So Control plus will zoom in for you. So now hopefully this is much more readable. I'll go ahead and delete both the CSS files. Done. Let's clean up the imports as well. And let's test out the plugin. So let's clear out everything in app component and add RAFCE, which is React Arrow function with export. And we can see that $1 was replaced by app, which is your file name. And we don't need this React as well. For people who have seen the previous video where we start with TypeScript and React, this is because when we set JSX to React JSX, React is available as a global module and we don't need to explicitly call that out in our files. Now in index.ts also, let's clear out the CSS file. And here the formatting change that you observed is because of the Prettier plugin. Let's go to index.html, clear the comment that's after the root. So please make sure that you do not delete the closing tag of the root, but yes, remove the comment after so that our logs are a lot cleaner when you're looking through some of the objects in body tag. The next one is let's update the title of our application to the app name, which is Snapcard. Now let's go ahead and test this out whether the project is running properly or not. We will go ahead and run npm start. This should start your project in the localhost 3000 port. Here we can see the localhost 3000 is running and it shows the app component without any compilation error. Here, in case you observe, we can see that we have a warning in our console. One of the dependencies, Babel preset React app, is importing some of the plugins without declaring it in its dependencies. So this has the potential to break your application in future, and that's why Create React App is giving you this warning. So it also gives you the suggestion how you can fix this warning. So if we have this plugin installed, the warning would be explicitly available in our package.json and the warning will go away. Let's try that out if that works. Let's open another command prompt, and here npm I is short form for install. You can paste the dependency that you copied and either save dev, which will save it in dev dependencies, or dash capital D. Both have the same purpose. It will save it as the dev dependency because we do not need this plugin when we publish our application. It's not a core dependency, but it's during our development phase. We need this in our project. Done. Let's go ahead, have a look. Now the warning is gone. It was compiled again and the warning is not there anymore. So that's how you resolve warnings as well in your console. Keep an eye on your build process from time to time and fix any issues that come so that we have a very clean warning free code that is ready for deployment. I'll close the other one. Now it's running properly. Let's close this and clear it out. Now we'll go ahead and install the remaining dependencies that we will be needing on our project. So first of all, we would be needing Bootstrap, then React-Bootstrap, which internally relies on Bootstrap. So we need to have Bootstrap CSS included in our project. That's the reason why we are installing Bootstrap as well. Then React-Bootstrap Icons and clsx. So clsx is one of the class related utilities for React. It's a very great utility to have in your project, even if you're working on smaller React projects. We'll use this and you'll get to understand more of it. It's not very complex, but please go ahead and install this. And since these all are core dependencies of our project, the dependencies which will be needed in the production build as well. We don't need to add -d or save dev because these are not just for development purposes. So these will be added to our dependencies array in package.json. I'll press enter now. Now, if we have a look at package.json, Bootstrap, React-Bootstrap icons, these are added as core dependencies, including clsx. And in terms of dev dependencies, we have the Babel plugin, the one that we discussed. Now let's go ahead and add the reference to our Bootstrap CSS in index.tsx. So we'll import bootstrap dist css bootstrap.min.css. So this is how we import the CSS file from Bootstrap. Once this is available, overall application should have all the elements that are coming out of Bootstrap. So for example, we replace div with container and let's replace this with an h1. This is our title of our application. So with this, let's run our project once again. The server is running again and we'll go to our browser, and here we can see now container is applied properly. Everything is within a well-defined container and the h1 styles are also coming up from Bootstrap. So you can see if you inspect, let me zoom in here as well so that we can see this style is coming from Bootstrap. So we've successfully implemented or integrated Bootstrap with our application. So our initial setup is complete. Also, for people who want to understand the React Bootstrap, and the dependencies that we installed in a little more detail, I've covered them in one of the previous videos, which I have linked in the information section in the video. Please go through that video. It will give you an understanding of what is Bootstrap, how can you refer to the documentation, what is React Bootstrap, what is React Bootstrap icons, and so on. So to get a better understanding, you already have a reference video available. Here, we will not dive into that again and we will go ahead and start implementing them. So in next video, our target would be to create the appropriate folder structure for a very scalable app, and you will get an understanding of what is the folder structure that is followed in the enterprise level applications. How do we structure our components, your constants, the context that we might use, any hooks that you might need in your projects, and how routes are usually managed in the application. It would be at a high level. It can vary from project to project based on complexity, but will give you a good understanding. And in case you don't want to miss when the video is uploaded, please feel free to push on the notification icon, which will notify you of the next uploads. So that's it for today. Hope you were able to complete the setup alongside with me. See you in the next one.